Welcome to the Brand Wise podcast, where we talk about the big branding moves that business owners are making and the why behind it. I'm your host, Jess Freeman, here to help you be wise and be bold. Well, hello. Today I've got a really fun and different episode that's a little bit of a case study about how upgrading your website can literally bring in thousands of dollars into your business. And today's spotlight is on my client, Melissa Bufonos. Melissa is a certified holistic nutritionist located in Canada, and she specializes in working with hockey players and athletes. She's exactly the kind of person you'd want guiding your nutrition if you were an athlete. I obviously have seen her website, seen her interviews, her blog posts, her Instagram post, and I feel like I'm just going to have to come back to them in several years when my daughter is maybe an athlete and kind of reference her information. So to get into Melissa's backstory, she built her original website herself back around 2015. It was okay. It served her for a while, but as it happens for most people, it started feeling outdated, wasn't really reflecting the expert she'd become in her industry, and really wasn't also even showing, the level of trust that she's built, because she also partners with brands frequently. And so Melissa first came to me, I think it was around 2020 or maybe 2021, just for a VIP day. So I came in, polished up her homepage. I think probably did some other small things around her website. Back then, my VIP days were kind of like a small tune-up, catch-all. If someone just wanted to freshen up a few pages, have me set up one new sales page, something like that, and they didn't need an entirely new website, they could just have me come in for a VIP day and spruce things up, and then that'd be it. So we did that. And then fast forward to 2024, when Melissa came to me and was basically like, okay, I want a professional refresh. I want the whole site redone because I don't want people to look at this and be like, yeah, she designed this herself, which we've all been there. It's like trying to DIY your hair or home DIY projects. You might be able to pull it off, but oftentimes the pros usually get better results. So we started redoing her entire website. We didn't touch her visual brand. She already had a solid logo and color palette that was already done, but we did give her website a very serious facelift. Lots of clean lines, bold colors, and a very clear message that positions her as the expert for hockey nutrition. Now, to get into some more of like the nitty-gritty and some more details, I wanted to share some of that. So first, we beefed up the website content. Google loves context, and honestly, so do potential clients. So most of her main pages got upwards of like 700, 800 words of detailed but engaging content. We're not just putting filler fluff to, meet a quota and stuff it full of keywords. We also skipped any pop-ups because honestly, who likes pop-ups? No one. We got strategic about the customer journey on her website and what offers she really wanted to highlight. This is one of the main things that I talk about with people is like, where do you want to send people? If you are really wanting to highlight this program, this offer, this audit, whatever it is, why is it not highlighted on your homepage? So Melissa now has 3 crystal clear calls to action right on her homepage: coaching, workshops, and brand partnerships. No confusion, no clutter, just clarity and very easy next steps so that people can get where they want to go. Because how often have we all been to a website and you're like, where is the information? Like, I'm just trying to find the information. So we did that. And then, of course, we optimized every single service page for SEO, of course, and also included individual inquiry forms for each offer since they are so different and have different audiences. We also kept her blog page up since she already had some posts and she wasn't actively blogging as much at the time of this redesign, but then since then has picked it up some more. And then one of the most impactful things we did, we really showcased her authority. We have dedicated brand and media pages now that highlight her past work, testimonials, media appearances, because again, she's collaborating with big brands and other brands want to see that. It helps build trust with new visitors who might not know her yet, even if they're not brands, even just clients. And for you, I just want to remind you that your expertise deserves a website that works as hard as you do. Stop letting a DIY website cost you revenue. The clients are out there. They just can't find you yet. So we did all these things, all the pages and the forms and the SEO and all that. But I know you want to hear about the ROI. And lucky for you, I recently got a message from Melissa herself, unprompted. And I just want to read this to you because, of course, it totally made my day. And so she said, quote, "Just had to share, it's been a year since my website overhaul and the SEO is really working now. In the past few months, I've had a lot of client and teamwork come in from people who have never followed me on social, aren't on my email list, etc. People all across Canada are reaching out to hire me. I just got a $6,000 contract with a league out in British Columbia. She's in Ontario. Last week, someone bought my course out of the blue who also isn't on my email or social list. It's been about $10,000 of revenue just from the website alone since January." And she sent this message in March, so in the span of 3 months. And she's finished it with saying, "And I still haven't even started actively blogging." End quote. How incredible is that? Not super consistent blogging, just a strategic, well-designed website doing the heavy lifting, bringing in those clients through SEO. $10,000. And she's not even showing up, blogging every single week, pumping out all this content. Obviously, she is active on social media, but as she mentioned, those people were not following her on social or email. And I do want to also address the time span. So she said it's been about a year and the SEO is really working now. I've mentioned this many times, but if you haven't heard or if you need the reminder, SEO does take time. Now, Melissa did have some SEO. It wasn't like she was just absolute zero search visibility for an entire year, but different keywords take time. And so we had adjusted some of her keywords. And so anytime that you are redesigning a website, you are changing or adjusting your niche, which she did a little bit, or if you are starting to blog or you've stopped blogging, anything like that, it takes time. And SEO is not like, oh, just put up a blog post and you're going to start ranking tomorrow. Now, typically for people who have a little bit of SEO, you can potentially start to see rankings and search traffic within a few weeks. But that's not always the case. There are so many variables that go into how fast you rank. If this is your very first website and you have the best content ever, it's still going to take a lot longer. Compared to Melissa and I, who have had websites for 10 plus years, we have an older domain. And so in the eyes of Google, we've been around longer. We have more content out there. We have more backlinks out there. So there's a lot more that goes into it. I have had clients who had faster SEO traction than Melissa. I've had others who've had slower traction. There's a lot that goes into it. So to wrap up, a few reminders from Melissa's experience. Clear, focused messaging converts better than flashy distractions. Each of your offers should have its own optimized page to help with SEO. And honestly, this also helps with just customer experience, makes messaging better. Like I could go on and on. And always, always, always showcase your credibility. Testimonials, And media features aren't just nice to have, they are essential. And media features counts even if you are not, you know, collaborating with brands. Media features count as like you getting quoted in an article, being on a podcast, like that also counts. And I also want you to do a competitor audit. So I want you to go look at 5 competitors' websites. And you can be as specific or as broad as you want. So if you're a dietitian, you can just pull up 5 dietitian websites. If you want to look at others in your niche, like just go Google like PCOS dietitian. Well, and we'll see if they even show up if they don't have SEO. So you might need to go to their Instagram and then find their website. But look at the competitors' websites and honestly look and ask yourself, whose site would I hire someone from? How clear are they? Do they make sense? Do they look professional? This is not about copying. It's about seeing the gap between where you are and where your competitors are and where you need to be. And if you're sitting there thinking like, I want results like Melissa, that sounds great. It is time to start thinking about your website, not just as this thing that sits there, but as part of your sales funnel, as part of your ecosystem. You cannot treat it like an afterthought. So if you're ready to chat about how we can upgrade your website or even just your SEO, hop on over to justcreatives.com to learn more, or you can always DM me on Instagram. But thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you will subscribe, share, and I will catch you next time. Are you a squiggle or a square? Go to justcreatives.com/quiz to find out where your brand ends up and find out what a square or squiggle even means. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to leave a review or share it on Instagram and tune in next week for another episode.